watch what happens. Okay? This is why time frames and candles on the lower time frame are confusing and are really just a bunch of noise. On this right here, this point right here, on the 1 minute, you would be like, we just disrespected that gap. All right, guys, welcome to another video. I'm going to go over a quick trade recap, and I'm also going to talk about noise in trading with, if you're stuck on the 1 minute and then the 5 minute, um, it's understandable. It happens to everybody, but I'm going to go over kind of the important factors and just how like time overlays and kind of can trip you up in a sense. So I'm going to go back to the start of this morning. So looking here, right, we're on the 4-hour time frame and we have a 4-hour gap. Okay. And mind you, when we're in this gap, I'm expecting to go lower, right? We're in this gap, we're in this imbalance, and I want to see us head lower. This right here is a new week opening gap. And these highs up here, I'm not expecting to be taken. On ES, they were taken. I'm not going to show that just to keep the screen pretty simple looking and not super complex. But just imagine ES had highs, and it came out and took them, okay? And on NQ, what I trade on, we did not need to take out those highs. So I'm expecting basically a reversal and for us to head lower. That's exactly what we did. So playing out price action, right, off rip, we open and we show signs of wanting to go higher, okay? And that's basically what we ended up doing until we made the SMT, until ES took out the highs, and then NQ had no longer needed to do so, okay? So right here, right, this start of this leg is when I want to be involved, okay? So this right here is the structure shift from bullish to bearish, and I was in the kitchen messing around, so I actually failed to see it in time. But basically, you could have taken a trade very similar to me, probably a little bit earlier. That's kind of what I wanted to do. But you have your change in your state. Ideally, I would have liked to seen a retracement into here and then respect it and go lower. But we ended up just accumulating right here, okay, for a solid, what is this, like literally like 30 minutes, okay? So for half an hour, right, you're just accumulating, and it's hard to sit here and watch this for 30 minutes, You get bored, you want to take a trade, it's hard, right? But you got to wait. So after we had a move, we accumulated, right? And our higher time frame is telling us we want to go lower. So once I have a signal that we want to go lower, I want to get in, okay? And I don't immediately just get in to this trade off rip. I wait for more confirmation. So we start heading lower, and at this point here, okay, this right here is my 5-minute gap. So I have clear direction that we want to go lower. I also have draws lower, and ES made SMT. So all of these signals to me are a bearish reversal, and that's exactly what's playing out in front of us. And so right here, I mark out my 5-minute gap. So this is where these newer beginner traders can kind of get slipped up and get confused. So when you have a candle body close outside of a gap, right, typically that means that's an inverse. So let's say you had this, and let's say you had something like that, right, and you made this gap, okay? So now we would like to see this, right? I want to go into the gap and then head lower and do something like that. But in this case, we go through, and with the example I just showed of tapping into the gap and going lower, you ideally want your candles to look something like this. So you'd want your up candle close something like that, right? Maybe you get a bit of like a rejection candle, right? Something like that. And then you start showing strong bearish sentiment and wanting to head lower, right? So this might look a little confusing, but imagine it being like this with a line, okay? So we went up, slowed down, and then went lower. When you're flipping on these time frames, things can get very confusing and get your mind looking at all different biases, and you get an analysis paralysis. It's bad, okay? So right here, we do body candle close above the gap, and if I mark the gap out more precisely, we are actually still in the gap, right? If you were basically, looking to take a trade for longs and you saw this and you saw it close, you might think this is a signal to buy. However, then we get this. So if I even just go back to here, okay, when you're looking at, let's say now we're on the 1 minute and we have the 5 minute gap, right? Watch what happens. Okay, yes, we did body candle close above the 5 minute, but looking at the 5 minute, we just made a rejection candle, and our previous candle is still within the gap. Okay, so you need to be patient and just watch price, right? But I'm not outside of the gap yet. Like, my entry to take shorts is once we cross below the 5 minute. So I'll draw out another gap along this 5 minute leg here. We have a 5 minute gap right there. So we respected the bearish gap, right? We made a rejection candle. And now we have a 5 minute bullish gap that I want to see candle body closure out of. So like I just said, on the 1 minute, yes, we did get that confirmation, but you have to wait for the higher time frames. So now on the 5 minute, I could be in this trade, right? And you probably could have been in a little bit earlier, like maybe, right here. Because on the 5 minute, we're out of it. So you could take shorts right here, right? So just as an example, maybe we go there and we target that. Okay, so this is the trade I was trying to get in, and I just had a lot going on mentally, so I think I got in a little late. But on this right here, at this point right here, on the 1 minute, you would be like, we just disrespected that gap. But once you flip to the 5, actually, no, we did respect the gap. Okay, we have a new 5 minute gap. Right here, you're like, oh, we just disrespected it. Oh, we disrespected it. But look, right, on the 5 minute, we're actually bullish. So just wait, be patient. Maybe right there. Even so, right? Wait for the 5 minute timer to go off on the candles. Because once that timer goes off, because all of these, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This would still be an up close candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have the down close. Now we have the candle body closure right there. So you just basically, the whole point of the video is to be patient. Don't let your emotions get to you. And because I used to do this, I would be like, oh my God, I got to get in here, right? But if you just wait for the bigger time frames to align and actually tell you the real move, you're going to have a lot better results, a lot better win rate. You will just not be involved in noise. So playing this out, you can see if I go into the 1 hour, right, from our swing high to our swing low, guys, I just trade common sense. So from swing high to swing low, okay, so marking from here to here, this whole range, we expanded in one direction, right? We went up. Okay, now we need to at least come back to here to rebalance. So that's kind of my logic, is I'm only taking longs in discount and I'm only taking shorts in premium. And let's go back to the 5 minute and play this out, right? So boom, you would have won the trade. And the thing that's hard is for half an hour, you are in this, right? And then we have this move down and here, and then maybe you want to get in on this move. You need to at least wait for a retracement and then some type of gap to form, and then see what kind of evidence you get from that gap. So that was the first trade. I probably could have been involved a lot earlier, but I just didn't really like the wicks that I was seeing here. This price action is very, you know, just up and down, and I don't know. I like this. This is much cleaner for me. So thank you for watching. I hope that made sense. And yeah,